we're making decisions around waste, fraud, and abuse, this is the largest source. For-profit insurance corporations like United Healthcare have been found to be defrauding public dollars of more than $80 billion a year.
80 million or 80 billion?
80 with a B, billion.
With a B,
yeah.
I have a couple spicy clips lined up for us of AOC just obliterating RFK Jr. on corruption and privatized Medicare plans and just highlighting his ignorance and incompetency and the need for universal health care. So strap in, it's gonna get good. Leave us a like on the video if you can. It gives us a boost in the algorithm. It's free and it lets us know you enjoy the content. And let's hop right into the debate.
United Healthcare is the largest health insurance company in the country. They are the largest employer of doctors and own thousands of pharmacies, clinics, surgery centers, and home health agencies, as well as hospice providers. Secretary Kennedy, are you aware that President Trump's Department of Justice is reportedly investigating United Healthcare for criminal insurance fraud in some of their for-profit health insurance plans, like Medicare Advantage?
I'm not aware of that investigation.
You are not aware that the Trump Department of Justice is investigating the largest insurance company in America that
I'm not aware of
for fraud in Medicare Advantage
No, I'm not aware of that.
that you have jurisdiction over?
It doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
And here is where I would normally confidently assert further ineptitude being shown by the Trump administration if I didn't have a sneaky suspicion that this was willful feigning ignorance in hopes to escape the discussion, right? Well, real quick, Medicare Advantage is a privatized form of Medicare where you are instead insured by private companies, but through taxpayer dollars. This is a doing of Republicans started in the 80s in hopes to unravel Medicare and of course lead to privatization in the long run. And they finished it under Bush. Since a profit motive is introduced here, we see statistically significant differences when compared to traditional Medicare. Lower quality nursing homes that your grandparents are getting sent to, reduced home health hours to give them aid, higher exit rates, especially the older and sicker you get, and larger copays, especially the sicker and older you get. And as AOC is speaking to, and we will expand on after this next clip, it routinely engages in fraud that siphons money from Medicare and its recipients unjustly to the tune of tens of billions, upwards of 80 to 100 billions of dollars a year.
Are you aware that for-profit insurance corporations like United Healthcare have been found to be defrauding public dollars of more than $80 billion a year?
I'm not aware of that number, but
You're
I'm
not
aware
aware
that
of
there's
that?
fraud across the for-profit sector.
Respectfully, Secretary Kennedy, if we're making decisions around waste, fraud, and abuse, this is the largest source of waste, fraud, and abuse of public dollars in the public insurance space.
You say $80 million?
$80 billion a year.
80, did you say 80 million or 80 billion?
80 with a B, billion.
With a B, yeah.
Yeah.
And this makes another great time to point out how for Trump and Doge, it was never about waste, fraud, and abuse, and things like this only further highlight that because all of the waste, fraud, and abuse in the government are going to private contracts and corporation, enriching people like Elon Musk and their donors. And if they pointed it all out, it would also destroy their weak little narrative that we have to privatize the government for efficiency. And you have to, again, just understand that these corporations are not only ripping you off and your tax dollars, but your grandparents who rely on getting cared and insured through Medicare, as the money they are stealing comes from the Medicare Trust Fund used to fund treatments for the sickest of patients, where, again, this is coming from upcoding pockets to line their profits more, overpaying their providers, overbilling their patients, home visit diagnoses without any follow-ups, literally robbing the most vulnerable Americans.
If that's the case, why did you nearly double the rate that taxpayer dollars give for-profit insurance companies like United next year? If you don't know those things.
Double the rate? How did I do that?
So your agency nearly doubled the taxpayer dollars that for-profit insurance corporations like United will be paid next year, meaning these companies, the largest of whom is under investigation, criminal investigation by the Trump administration, will be receiving an additional $25 billion from your agency.
How is that happening?
I would be happy to submit to the congressional record evidence of this. I will enter the CMS press release from April 7th of 2025 into the record, which states that Medicare Advantage corporations will now receive a 5.06% increase in payments next year under your jurisdiction.
He literally knows nothing about his own department. Like, why is this even allowed? It's absolutely astonishing to actually see. Like, she's having to walk him through his job and explain the fraud that exists, the money he's allocating. Why doesn't he know this when he's coming before Congress? Like, what is this man spending all of his time doing? Trying to debunk decades of autism research? Is this what we want the HHA secretary doing? This is what happens when you actually appoint someone who isn't qualified for their position, woefully so. Notice how there's not a single moment from the Biden DEI cabinet that could ever level up or measure up to any of this level of ignorance we've seen from this or anyone else in the Trump cabinet, because sadly, this is one of many moments top down of members in Trump's cabinet.